Let's go to Auburn now. Pretty good job in the portal for Hugh Freeze. They obviously hit that hard and needed to upgrade their personnel at a bunch of different positions. As far as returning production, 65% is back, 74% offensively, that was 27th, 55% defensively, that was 78th. But you look at the additions in the portal, and this is why I'm cautiously optimistic about what Auburn might do this season. I think Keandre Lambert-Smith is rock solid. Will he ultimately be the number one wide receiver? I don't know if I can go that far, but I do think incoming freshman Cam Coleman could be. That guy could be an immediate difference maker. They really needed to bolster their personnel at wide receiver. If you look at Peyton Thorne, people will blame him, say he's not up to par with some of the top quarterbacks in the SEC. And while I'll agree from a talent standpoint, yeah, he's not as talented as some of the guys he'll be competing against. If you surround him with a really good supporting cast, I think he could be highly productive. Just look back a couple years ago at what he did when he had a solid nucleus of talent around him at Michigan State. I thought Sam Jackson was a great add at wide receiver from Cal, and they really needed to bolster their bodies along the defensive line. So you go and get Isaiah Rakes recently from USC, a defensive tackle. Philip Bleedy from Indiana. He's going to be a potential difference maker there in the front. Trill Carter should be a big body enforcer, run stopper there from Texas. And then Gage Keys, a defensive lineman from Kansas, really solid additions. Let's go through the schedule. Alabama A&M, Cal, New Mexico, Arkansas. All 4 games are in Jordan-Hare. All 4 games, I would expect Auburn to win. So we're out of the gate 4-0, looking like they're in a pretty good spot. Oklahoma at home. Said this was a toss-up game already for Oklahoma. I'll keep it as a toss-up game for Auburn. I think Oklahoma's going to be good, like we talked about. Their win-loss record might not reflect that, but a trip to the Plains is always a very difficult place to play. So we'll find out in that game. We'll put that one in the maybe column, at least as the moment. At Georgia, at Missouri, at Kentucky. 3 incredibly difficult games back to back to back for the Auburn Tigers. They do get the break after Georgia before they have to go to Missouri, but then they follow that Missouri game with a game at Kentucky, and I think Kentucky's going to be improved this season here for Mark Stoops on both sides of the ball. They get Vandy at home, UL Monroe, Texas A&M, and then they go to Alabama for the Iron Bowl on November 30th. So let's go through the potential games that are very losable, if you will. At Alabama, A&M at home, at Kentucky, at Missouri, at Georgia, Oklahoma. All right. I think when you look at this, we just said for Oklahoma, there's 7 losable games. For Auburn, I think there's 6 losable games. So I actually lean Auburn here in 2024 as far as the win-loss record is concerned. I think their schedule is more manageable and more gettable, even though it's very difficult. I do think Auburn has a slight advantage over Oklahoma here heading into the season.